Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Vasavvi Acharjya and today I've come before you to present a course on Vasavvi's PeaCept for early years. So let me begin the course and allow me some time to share my PPT. Well, this course is an insight into the peace pedagogy, which is PeaCept for early years, a brain-based peace framework. And I'll be telling you more about this, like how I have come up with and what are the different things that is included in this framework. So, first of all, I would like to know from you what kind of world are we preparing our children for? So, we can see that there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of, you know, unmindful behavior, too much of access to the screen, and so much of distraction, so many crimes, and so many incidences which are untowards, which we had never heard of in our childhood. So, what are you as facilitators thinking of for children in the coming years? So you can type your answers in the Facebook reply area section, and I'm looking forward to some of your answers before I proceed. And also, you can write on what qualities do children need most today. Well, as you type in, I would like to, tell you about some responses which I got when I asked this question while I was training some schools. It was like, we need empathy, emotional regulation, kindness, collaboration, peaceful conflict resolution, confidence, and resilience in our children. These are the qualities that we need. And the world that we are preparing our children for is a tough world. It is really very tough. Looking at the competition, looking at the diverse kind of exposure that children have, and the inability to actually know what is good, differentiate between good and bad. So we need to give them some skills which are very essential, because when they grow up into adolescents and into teenagers, and then transition to adulthood, there are a lot of challenges that they would be facing. So, coming to what is PeaCept for early years. Now, when we're talking about peace studies, we see that there's not much of interest in terms of why peace studies in early childhood years. Peace is a big word. We already have peace. There's no war in India, so it's not like that. Peace is something that goes beyond conflict, or it is not directly, a state of war, but it is a state of calm. So here we are looking at, introducing children to emotional balance, respect for diversity, self-awareness, compassion, environmental consciousness, mindful communication, and inner well-being. So here I want that, there is something beyond academic. I mean, academic success is no longer enough. Children need inner peace, emotional intelligence, and human values. And that is where the PeaCept for early years is important. So when we are looking at, avoidance of conflict, but at the same time, we are talking about peace. So let me explain it to you in a more detailed manner. So this pedagogy in a way is integrating socio-emotional learning with neuroscience, how the brain develops. It is also assimilating mindfulness, the sustainable development goals. It so much aligns with the peace philosophy that we are talking about. Play-based learning, how children learn through play, and why play is so much important for children. And then conscious classroom practices. Conscious classroom practices also include, how the teacher or the facilitator behaves in the classroom, how she's taking forward, how as a role model She is setting examples. What kind of environment is in there in the classroom? Is it democratic? Is it biased? So we are looking at creating conscious classroom environments and also looking at classroom spaces which are more congenial to peace development, indoor and outdoor, the entire school look and feel, the peace realm that we talk about, and so much more. Looking at the brain formation in early childhood. So, what happens in the early childhood years, we already know as educators, 90% of the child's brain develop before the age of 5. So, what happens during those years? It is not academic development. It is development in terms of forming the neural network, the synapses, brain synapses. It's how our frontal lobe is starting to understand, analyze, problem solve, negotiate, navigate. So, a lot of things are happening, and when the child is very little, they learn from the environment. It is from the people around them, it's from the environment, it's the social, cultural, environmental conditioning of the child that makes the child understand or look at himself as what they are. So many times we feel that when we look at ourselves, it's mostly what was told to us. It was more of an autopilot in terms of how we look and view ourselves instead of what we actually are. So there are many books I have read during my teenage years and maybe in my adulthood as well, where they talk about finding yourself, because we have a self image that is formed due to the people around us, due to the environmental and the social conditioning we have. So here, when we are looking at that, it is so important what kind of an environment, what kind of a atmosphere, what kind of social structure the child is exposed to in their early childhood years, because 90% of the child's brain develops, the personality is formed, all of it happens by the first 8 years of a child's life. So, stress, fear, and harsh environments negatively impact learning, and safe, loving, emotionally responsive classroom enhances neural connections. So, it is very evident that when a child experiences calmness, emotional safety, predictable routines, respectful communication, opportunities for expression, what happens? A child is more secure, a child is in the safety net, a child feels loved, a child feels, revered. And that is what builds up the child's confidence. It builds up the child's self esteem about how they look at themselves. And, they are also learning and understanding how to respect the person in front of them. The manners, the habits, the etiquettes, it all improves. There's a lot of emotional safety, there's a lot of calmness. I have personally, in my teenage years, met people, met fellow peers who were very calm, and at that time I was kind of a more reactive person than a responsive person, and I would sometimes think how they manage to have such a calm personality, and that kept me wanting to learn more about how we can build inner peace. So I'll be going to that, in my next few slides. So here we are looking at this slide where the child, we are talking about calmness, emotional safety, predictable routines. So when a routine is predictable, when it is not haphazard, the child feels calm and safe, because they don't like surprises, they don't want surprises, and their brain is not ready to take surprises. So they need calm, predictable routines, and in fact, when we are introducing to them to surprises, they need to be more ready to accept them. So if it is a very chaotic situation or an environment or people around them who are continuously confusing them, it creates a lot of turmoil in the minds of the children. So the brain becomes more ready for learning. Now, when we are looking at what are the outcomes of the above that we are giving them, they're more ready to learn, their memory is better, their creativity is more, because they are able to express themselves. The problem solving capacity grows. They develop language, they develop cognitive skills, they develop multiple skills. I would, it would completely fill up my slides if I write down the skills that they are going to develop when they are having an environment which is congenial for their growth. Believe me. And that's why the emotional climate of a classroom becomes the architecture of the child's brain. So here, because this course is for facilitators, basically that I'm delivering today, I would talk about classrooms, but the same is also applicable to home environments. Absolutely applicable to home environments, because the child is at home for a very, very long time. And the behavior of the parents, the behavior of the siblings, how they are, talking, how they are behaving, what are the basic things, all of that actually leaves an impression in the child's mind and how they process information. Now, if you look at the course structure and duration, yes, before going into that, why you need to do this course, it is NEP aligned. It is very, very relevant, because looking at today's time, we need children who are able to be in touch with their feelings, who are able to handle emotions, who are able to, negotiate, navigate, and who has a lot of resilience. And this course is recognized. It is also, presented in Dubai. It has been presented in Indonesia, in Jakarta, in Bali, in Cirebon. And I also presented this course, a workshop on this in Thailand. So it's widely accepted, and it's accredited by ECDF. So basically, we've been giving courses through ECDF as well. And yeah, of course, we have the International Montessori Teacher Training Academy, which is called IMTA. And basically, I give out all my courses through IMTA and certified through IMTA with the ECDF logo as well. So these courses are both online and offline. So there's a flexible learning option. And we have one-day integrated course, like I told you about these workshops that I have been doing in different schools in different parts of Assam. I've also done it online in Imphal. And then we have the short-term certificate courses of 1 month, 6 weeks, and 3 months. And we have the diploma courses as well. Now, these courses are available online, offline, and hybrid. So anybody from any part of India, any part of the world who is interested to know more about this or take up a course, get certified, can get in touch with us. And the course definitely will have the course books. It will have the activities, a little bit of the toolkit that we'll be providing, so that the teachers have an insight into how they should go ahead with it. And then there'll be reflection exercises, classroom applications, and of course the certification, which will depend on the duration of the course, which is like, if it is a certificate course up to 3 months, say 1 month, 1 day, 1 week, all of it would be certificate courses. But when somebody does a 6 months course, it's going to be a diploma and PeaCept for early years. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And we are conducting more continuous professional development activities virtually in our forum, the Early Childhood Development Forum. And so I would want you to join these from time to time and whenever you're free. And these are all free resources, so you can look into this even in our YouTube channel, which is Early Childhood Development Forum. And you can also follow us in our Facebook pages, the Global Voices, ECDF Global Voices.